What are we doing, Seth?
All right, guys, here we are again. Today, we are looking at an institution that a lot of us sometimes don't understand. I'm not talking about the school institution or, the petroleum institution or workers institution or what have you. I'm talking about marriage institution. The marriage institution is a place that you dare to go into. And when you are daring yourself, don't be there because of peer pressure, family pressure, self-pressure, environmental pressure, or what have you. Dare by yourself, for yourself. Believing that when you get into that institution, it's another ball game. You're not going to be like a single person. You're not going to think only for yourself or by yourself. It's going to involve another person. So you have to be very careful before you delve into it. All right? And when you do, God help you that you succeed. That's why you give a lot of kudos to those who can be in that institution for a very, very long time with their spouses. All right? So, and it's not everybody that can say that. And even being with a spouse for 30, 40 years, it takes a whole lot. That doesn't mean that they're happy. It does not guarantee happiness. I'm not scaring any of you. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that is the truth. Because there's what they call tolerance. There's what they call, overlooking and all that stuff that comes with being able to sustain that period of time when it comes to marriage. So you guys should know what I'm talking about. Two-Face and should I say ex-wife now? Is it official? And I don't even know what I should call her a Dibia now. No more. And when I mean no more, they are, going through a divorce right now. Okay? Now, there's always, as they always say, when there is smoke, there must be fire, right? So, in this case, I'm sure before you got to this level of divorcing, a lot of water will don't pass bridge. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So, I want us today to look at it in another perspective of what could be the reason why did it go this way and all that stuff. No blame game. It's just going to be pure from the heart, the circumstances around it, possibilities, and all that stuff. So that's what we're going to look at today. First off, like I was saying, marriage is an institution where a lot of people don't really understand before they delve into it. Because that institution takes a lot from you, for you, and sometimes it could even be against you. You need to understand what you're doing. Like I said in the beginning, it's not due to peer pressure or all those kind of pressure, external pressure especially, for you to not delve into it. Wrong move. Now, if you decide to go into it, I tell you, it takes a whole lot of things. Number one, if you remember, before Adam was given a woman, Adam, there was a certainty that Adam was doing something. Okay? Well, now, here's what I'm trying to say. In this case, for Two-Face and Anne, there was a time nobody knew who Two-Face was, right? The beginning was very humbling. Anne was there. Remember the group? I think he came out from a group called Plantashun Boyz. There was Two-Face, Blackface, and is it Face? All right. All the three faces, right? Now, out of all of them, Two-Face seems to be the one that is relevant to today. Now, this has grown up to me. This guy's gone ahead to, do a whole lot of stuff for himself, career-wise, when it comes to music, singing. Both not just in Nigeria, but in Africa and even the world, arguably. He's well known, Two-Face Idibia. Now, before all of that was Anne. Now, Annie was with him at the point where he was, should I say, a nobody? He was hustling. Now, Two-Face now made it, right? Financially, fame came, everything was looking good, all right? But the intrigues and what happened behind all of that, we wouldn't know that. We are just outsiders looking at what we only see. Bear that in mind. So, at the point when you are famous, my friend will say, depending on your kind of crafts that you bring to play, if you're a successful person and you are famous, you are out there in social media and everything, you are an ashewo. Yes. So if you're a footballer, a singer, and your craft is beautiful, you're turning heads. It's going to come with a lot of backlash. And part of it is temptation. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say temptation, it's not just sex. It could be maintaining a status and you don't want to go down that status. Pressure comes into it. So in this case, it will take Dr. Damina and Adeboye and Oyakilome and everybody to lay hands on you for you not to fall for that temptation. What are we doing, Seth? So it's a dicey game when your life is public. It's very, very difficult to maintain the kind of person you are when fame comes into play. You are now famous, you are rich, and it now happens that you are even a handsome guy, or if you're a woman, you are a beautiful woman. I tell you, I have seen a lot of artists that the women are so beautiful. They are all over the world touring and everything. And the man is almost having a BP. Divorces take place. And if you are a guy, the same thing. Everybody wants you, all the ladies want to be around you. So it's an ashawo walk, whether you are a singer, a footballer, or what have you. Believe it or not. So it comes with a lot of baggage, and it could even affect you adversely. In this case, a lot has been happening behind closed doors that we don't know concerning Two-Face and his ex-wife, all right? And we don't know that. So I will not be here to judge either. I'm just here to look at it in another perspective and share with you and hear what your take would be, So first off, we've talked about marriage as an institution that you have to be sure before you get into. Now we've just talked about self in terms of Two-Face was now a superstar, is a legend on his own right, and all that good stuff, and is affecting his marriage. Now, this issue of marriage situations between the two of them has been lingering for a long time. Definitely, that's where the smoke was. Who was with them at that time to settle it? Who were the friends that came around, if there were any? I'm sure they must have been, to help them out. And it wasn't working. Do we have the details of that? Okay. I can't wait to hear what Two-Face has to say. He came out and said, okay, he's going to have a press conference, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure when it comes out, it's going to be he said, she said, the regular story you're going to hear that he will justify as to why he made the decision of, divorcing. So will be the wife. So it's going to be similar stories we hear. It's not something new. But what I'm just going to say is, and we are not here to blame anyone, because it's very easy for you to be a spectator and judge people. You don't know what is happening behind closed doors. So Two-Face now is going through this. Emotionally, you don't know how he's feeling. The wife, the same thing. I'm hearing that she's going through a rehab, and all of that. And she has been complaining. I remember there was some years back, this reality show she was in, and she was saying something about Two-Face, having women and having children. She being more of a mother-in-law to those children. The stress she's going through, we can understand that. And again, Annie decided you have to make up your mind when you decide to follow an ashewo. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't blame me. I'm just being realistic here. If you decide to follow somebody, even though he has the craft, okay? Because a lot of people will want to be his friend. A lot of people will want to be with him, for him, or take him, all right? The man has to be very responsible to ensuring that, his house is not affected. Because if you are not, this is part of what's going to happen. And I know you must have heard about Tiwa Savage too, where the ex-husband complained about not being, having a good relationship and blah, blah, blah. And look at now, Tiwa is single again. So these things happen when you indulge in public life activities. We have not heard the end of Two-Face and Annie, Hopefully they will work out this thing and make it work for them. But I can tell you this, marriage is not the end of the world. Your happiness is. Your happiness determines your life, your lifespan. I tell you. Because let me tell you this, even in marriage and you're not happy for some reason, you can't work it out. I'm not saying you should take my advice for it, but the reality is, what comes first? Is it your happiness or your marriage? Answer that question. I would like to get your take. Is it happiness or marriage comes first? Your happiness. Because nobody can make you happy, even your husband or your wife. You have to make sure that you are happy. If you are not happy, and maybe you are living in a toxic environment, some marriages are very toxic, and you endure. You are taking you're living a dangerous life because it's going to affect your health. You can't escape it. Pressure just to be in marriage. Sometimes life is better off when you are out of it. Think about it. So let's not blame Two-Face. Let's not blame the wife because they all have their own side of the story. Let's just see how it works out and hopefully whatever conclusion they make at the end will work for them. That is the best we can say as outsiders. I'm not going to come in here and start blaming, Two-Face left her when she was in dire need, blah, blah, blah. Hey, who are you to judge? And I heard that some celebrities like Tiwa, she was in the side of the wife, and Toke Makinwa and the likes, they're like, you left her at the time. I'm not going to do that. All right. There's no need for all that banter. We don't need that. What we need is to see how they can be happy. That is the key. All right. So I wish them luck. We're going to hear more when we get more information that comes out. We're going to hear, and hopefully they can resolve this amicably and everybody's happy. That is the bottom line. You cannot buy happiness. These days, you can even buy marriage. You can arrange and buy marriage. Yes, marriage can be bought. Okay, but you can't buy happiness. That's impossible. And your happiness has to come from within. So if that doesn't come first, I'm sorry, your priorities are not right. All right, I can say all of that, but that's the bottom line. So Two-Face and Anne, whatever it is, I pray for them that it works out for them at the end when they decide what to do, if they haven't already. And for those of you that are married, you just pray for the best. But what comes first is happiness. Your happiness matters because that will take you away from your doctor. That will make sure that your money is not wasted wrongly. Because you might have all the money in the world. If you're not happy, bro, that money itself might not help you. What are we doing, Seth?
What are we doing, Seth?